After all the pain, suffering, and bad luck Raptors fans endured throughout the season, maybe it was all worth it as the Raptors get the lottery gods on their side and end up with the 4th overall pick in this upcoming NBA entry draft. So in this video, we look at what Masai Ujiri can do with this pick. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody to Amateur Hour Sports. This is the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors 4 days a week. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. This is your Wednesday episode where we are talking about the NBA Draft Lottery. The Raptors got some great fortune there. So if you like what you see from today's video and you want more of myself talking about the NBA and the Raptors in videos and content just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to show your support to the channel. We are on our road to 4,000 subscribers. You can help us get there by subscribing. Thank you so much for the great support coming in over the last month or so. Really do appreciate that, guys. But let's get into our video topic for today. So we're just going to kind of recap what went down in the draft lottery and what this really means for Masai Ujiri and the Toronto Raptors, because going into the draft, we spent the week prior to this draft lottery speculating what we'd get. I did the most likely scenario as 7th or 8th pick. You can wind up with somebody like Keon Johnson or Moses Moody. I did my worst case. So if you got like the 10th pick, who would you take there? I'd said Alperen Sengun. But now, best case scenario, we speculated best case where I said 3rd or 4th pick, and my goodness, we actually got it. We had a 31.9% chance of landing in the top 4, and wow, we actually did it. I couldn't believe it. Like, you can see my live reaction right here. Orlando at 8. If we're not 7, we're top 4. If we're not 7, we're top 4. Not 7. Let's go. That's top 4. Just in complete and utter disbelief of this situation. I am so happy for this team. This is a horrible season. There was a lot of bad luck. Throughout the course of the season. Bad luck with people leaving. Bad luck with injuries. Bad luck with health and safety protocols, playing the entire season in Tampa. I think it was about damn time that this team got the luck that they deserved. And my goodness, what a lucky spin. And anybody who's upset that we didn't get 3rd or 2nd, just stop. This is an absolute win for this franchise. A top 4 pick when last week I was excited about drafting Keon Johnson. Now I can look at guys like Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs as guys we can legitimately have on this team at the draft. Just think about this prospects. Think about this. In 1 month's time, just over a month's time, one of Evan Mobley, Jalen Green, or Jalen Suggs will be a Toronto Raptors player, and that is an amazing thing to think about. Masai Ujiri has done so well with picks in the past, even if they're in the 20s. Obviously, there's some blemishes. You can talk about Caboclo, Pirtle, but there are the great ones, like OG Anunoby at 23rd overall, Pascal Siakam at 27th overall, and now you're giving him a top 4 pick in the draft. I am very, very excited about this process because I've been saying for about a month now, anywhere in the top 4 is an absolute win, because I feel like anywhere in the top 4, you're getting a generational talent for your team. And now that the Raptors here, this thought process has not changed in the slightest. This team who is missing that clear, definitive number 1 option, I've been saying that it's absolutely possible that if you land in the top 4, you can wind up with this guy. And I think the Raptors might just have that stroke of luck based on who I think is going to go where. Looking at the teams in the position, so the Pistons get the 1st overall pick. They're going to be taking Cade Cunningham, no doubt. Then you go to the Houston Rockets in 2nd. Now, this is where it can kind of get interesting because Evan Mobley is the big projection to go 2nd, but Houston have Christian Wood. Do they want Evan Mobley? Do they want another big? Because if I'm Houston, I would probably go after Jalen Green. A sharp shooting guard who can ball handle, who can create his own shot. That's who I'd go for. So Evan Mobley might fall. And then you go to Cleveland. Cleveland have every big who plays professional basketball on their team. One of those guys is Jared Allen. They have so many bigs. Why do they need Evan Mobley? So maybe they'd pass up on him and take Jalen Suggs. Maybe they could trade Colin Sexton and build around Jalen Suggs instead. These are things that are absolutely possible. Evan Mobley could fall to us, or maybe Houston will just say, okay, let's just take Mobley, 2nd best player in the draft. Cleveland might say again, well, let's trade away one of our guards. We have a lot of them. Let's build around Jalen Green or Jalen Suggs instead. Then the other one falls to us. And I am completely happy no matter which of those 3 players fall to us. The Raptors, if they get Evan Mobley, they could really use a center for this team. They've been lacking that, I think, all season. We got Aaron Baines, the tank commander, helping us get this 4th pick. Well, maybe Evan Mobley could be the guy to replace him. Jalen Suggs. The Raptors love playing, this double point guard system, and getting a tall, very good defender, a court facilitator who can score the ball in Jalen Suggs would be great to play beside Fred VanVleet. Might mean the demise of Kyle Lowry's tenure as a Raptor, but I think I can live with that with this pick. Jalen Green is my favorite player of the three. This is the definitive number one option that we've been looking for. I think in 2 to 3 years' time, we're looking at Jalen Suggs like that number one option, that star to be on our team. But I think Suggs could maybe find this. Problem is, Suggs isn't that bucket getter in the clutch, but nonetheless, I am absolutely pleased with any of these guys. Because I've been saying for so long now, if you watch the channel, you know I say this. Siakam is the perfect second option for your team. Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby are great 3 to 4 guys in your lineup, but we're still missing that number one guy, the star for the show. And I think that no matter who we take in this scenario, we are going to get this guy. I think no matter what, we have that number one option for the future. You bring him in on a rookie contract making $1 to $2 million a year. He can be one of your best players on your team, only making like $2 million a year. Building around them, signing players to fit the system. So bringing in a guy like, let's say, Jalen Suggs, that's who I believe is going to fall to us. Bringing in a guy like Jalen Suggs, he can be that main guy on offense, and I think that his court facilitation and scoring will just make the job of Pascal Siakam all the much easier. This would be great, not to mention the amount of depth that this team could have bringing in this player, because we also have a 44th and 45th pick. This is huge for the franchise. We might have the number one option. We'll have Fred VanVleet, the guard that we draft, whether it be Green or Suggs, in theory, that's what I think. OG Anunoby to 3. Siakam at the 4. Let's bring in a new big like Rashawn Holmes to play the 5. Then you've got the bench. The bench is looking good all of a sudden. I'm assuming you bring back Gary Trent. You've got him as your sixth man. You have Ken Birch coming back, hopefully. You put him on the bench. Yuta Watanabe has been a guy who's developing his skills as a shooter. I think he has a spot on the bench. Jalen Harris, Malachi Flynn, the young guys who are ascending and getting better. DeAndre Bembry, who's a solid player to the puzzle. And also you've got the 44th and 45th pick who could come in as rotation pieces in the first season. This team could be very deep, and this team would be built for a great regular season run. I doubt that in the first year, maybe 2 years, this team could be legitimate contenders, but I think in 3 years' time, with this pick, developing these players, 3 years, I think this Raptors team is legitimately back in true contention. I think that this team is deep, not as completely top-heavy in terms of that true main number one option, but again, 2 to 3 years' time. I think that with the Raptors development team, what they've done with later picks in the past, the ability to develop a guy going top 4 is a mouth-watering prospect. There's going to be so much that this Raptors team can do with this player here, and no matter who falls, again, I would be completely happy. My assumption is that, Evan Mobley, the second best player in the draft, I think you work around that. I think you work with that talent. I think that Cade goes 1, of course. I think Mobley goes either 2 or 3, and I would be pretty shocked not to see Jalen Green go 2 or 3. So my firm belief is that Jalen Suggs falls to us, but I think Jalen Suggs is he might be my least favorite of the 3, but I'm still very high on him. I definitely want Green or Mobley more than Suggs. There's going to be guys watching this video, like maybe you think that Suggs is better than Green. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm completely content with anybody we get here. Again, just last week, I was excited about Keon Johnson, maybe Moses Moody coming into this team. And now we're looking at Green and Suggs and Mobley instead. Like, no disrespect to those guys. No disrespect to David Mitchell, Moody, Springer, Keon Johnson, any of those guys. No disrespect. They're going to be great players. But my God, we're on a different tier right now. The top 4 pick is truly a game-changing pick for the future and the betterment of this franchise. This franchise, I thought they had the core in place, and they have that core in place, just lacking that one true star to this team. And it's a very big possibility that on July 29th, on NBA draft night, we are going to take that guy who can become that star and become that guy that we rely on in the big games, in the big moments, with all these players around him who complement him, who aren't on the most expensive deals like OG and Fred. these guys complement this player to a point where we can get back to NBA championship contention. Do I think we can get there? We don't even know who we picked yet, so let's not say yes or no. Let's not make definitive statements. But I absolutely believe that this team is back in that contention, back in that conversation in the next few years based on who they take here. I can't see us taking Kuminga or anybody else but Suggs, Green, or Mobley, and I am over the moon with any of those guys coming in. The next biggest thing for the Raptors after this, they've got their top 4 pick. It's bringing back Masai Ujiri to be able to use this pick. And if he's not, we still got guys who can do good with this, like Bobby Webster. But the way Bobby Webster's been talking to the media, it seems like Masai Ujiri is coming back because Masai is business as usual here. Nothing is different. Bobby Webster has said that nothing is different. He is treating it like he is going to stay, and that makes me excited. And I think that Masai's prospect of working with a young player from a top 4 pick has to be enticing for him to stay. I grow ever more confident that Masai Ujiri is going to sign the contract. He loves his city, the city loves him, and they've got a legitimate shot at getting back into that winning culture, that championship mentality. And I hope MLSC can convey that in their meetings to get him back to this team. Because now that we have this is the next important thing. Get Masai Ujiri back. Draft a player. Try to get back into the Scotiabank Arena for next season. And good things are going to happen. This pick is not going to get us, that contender ability right away. But right back in the playoff mix next season with, who knows, maybe a bit of dark horse mentality. Maybe a bit of that underdog mentality with all the players who maybe got slept on in the offseason because they didn't have the best season last year. Maybe we can surprise some people next season. Get back in that playoff position. So again, I'm absolutely ecstatic about this situation. Let me know your thoughts, your live reaction. What did you think about this pick? Who do you think the Raptors are going to take in this position? I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that wraps up for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you are still here, be sure to hit that like button to show your support to the channel. Also helps us reach some new viewers with that YouTube algorithm, and also it can show that you made it to the end of the video. Check out our Twitch, twitch.tv/amateursports. Thank you so much to everybody who did come out to the stream yesterday. A lot of people showed up to the stream yesterday, and we had an absolute blast watching on the NBA lottery. We are live tonight for the Bucks versus Hawks game 1. If you want to check that out, link is down below. Subscribe to the channel again right over here with this button. On our road to 4,000 subscribers. We are getting close. We are getting close to that next milestone. Appreciate all the support coming in. Some other videos by the channel that you may enjoy, and always remember, at the end of the day, believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. Enjoy the grind, and I'll see you again next time for another video.